All right, I got one microphone going now. Thank you for tuning into the Last Show podcast. My name is Kortney Shane Williams. I'm the host of the Last Show podcast. This is how it gets down. Once a week, sometimes twice a week. Turn my headphones up. Turn them up. You can't just put velvet in them and call them good headphones. This is a pop culture, sports, comedy podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I am a stand-up comedian based out of Tampa, Florida. Subscribe to this show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google, and TuneIn Radio. Go to my website, CortneyShaneWilliams.com, see where I'm performing. I'm recording my comedy album at Laughs Comedy Club in August. I get my second dose of the vaccine next week, so if any of you homeless people are from Seattle thinking about giving me the coronavirus, good luck. Good luck to you, you dirty needle-carrying people. Other than that, you can also check out a backlog of my show on my website. You can also go to YouTube. So I don't know what's going to happen with this whole show, okay? And this is the deal. This is the second time trying to do this show live or some kind of video component. And this time it was actually work. I prepped a whole station of whatever all these things are. There's 2 screens going on right now. I'm recording the podcast simultaneously to doing the video. I put in about 2 hours of work. I was in Photoshop. I was in Photoshop for free. I'm not getting paid to do Photoshop for any of this stuff. For free. For what? How many people are listening to this right now? Let me embarrass myself. How many people? 2 people. There are 2 people listening to this. And one person said it's all clear. All right, good. Oh, Thomas, man, what up, dude? Hopefully, Seattle Street, they got you locked in a cage like a rabbit. It's a show, man. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. This is called the Last Show podcast, literally, because when I started this show, I didn't know how long it was going to go. So I said, hey, how about the last show? Because this could, in fact, be the last show. Who knows? It could definitely be the last show of this. Whatever this is that I'm doing right now, this could be finito, the end. Bunch of stuff to talk about in the podcast today, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, taking time. You can also check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Kortney Shane. That's at Kortney Shane. A rebroadcast of this show will be on YouTube. It will be a whole lot smoother. People will think I'm actually professional. And then all the people that are bots on my YouTube account can delete the video from their timeline. If you haven't, by the way, subscribe to the actual podcast because then you get the music bed in there. Right now, I'm just talking to you naked. You know what I mean? Like somebody that you walked in on with your wife. I'm just doing this freestyle, okay? So this is the show. So I didn't know where I was going to start this show originally because I definitely want to talk about DMX, but there's other things I definitely want to talk about as well. And it is a comedy show. However, I think the only place really to start is with DMX. So here it is. DMX is like a big deal, man. Not even like a big deal, like, rap-wise big deal, but also like culturally big deal. So my DMX experience is probably not unlike a bunch of other people. So first, Flesh My Flesh, Blood My Blood come out. That's like 98 when the whole DMX thing hit the scene. At that point, I was just kind of getting into my music listening, but I didn't have any favorite genre of music, right? That's still when the radio existed. Oh, gather around, kids. Uncle Kortney is going to tell you a story about mainstream media. Back when they could actually lie to you and never let you vote. You know what I mean? So that was like the beginning of kind of my thing. So the only music you listen to is the stuff on the radio. That's what it was. And when Rough Riders Anthem came out, that was bonkers hit, especially like in high school. Because in high school, now, like, you're trying to be a cool person. I mean, back, I used to try to be cool. Actually, I didn't try to be cool in high school. Anybody from high school that knows me knows, man, I have my own swagger. I didn't say a word. I walked around like a mime. I was one of those dudes when I graduated and somebody's like, hey, that guy on TV, he went to school with me? That's the guy I was in high school. The dude sneaking off in the corner trying to find a way out of this place, like the House of the Rise, like the animals. So my DMX experience is like, yeah, man, the dude got popular when I was in high school. And like, it was a big deal. That was back when like rappers dictated like fashion. And not only did they dictate fashion, they actually sold fashion. Okay? Like, for some reason, when FUBU hit big, everybody had a clothing line, dude. Nelly had a clothing line. Jay-Z had a clothing line. Rough Riders had a clothing. Wu-Tang. Oh, Wu-Tang had a clothing line. Oh, yeah. But people was wearing the fresh Capidanas to school. That's the way it was. And when DMX came out, it was like a bomb went off. It's crazy to think that, like, at one point in time, DMX was a bigger artist than Jay-Z. DMX was the biggest rap artist. And not big rap artists like Drake is a big, like, big rap artists like this dude carries that stick. Like, he can bring it to anybody. There was no dispute of what DMX was. And he was a cultural icon. I don't even know if it was marketing or, well, I'll say it was marketing. I'll give him credit. But he came out with the ferocity. And the ferocity and the lyrics were ferocious and the whole thing was, but it was also soft and well spoken and introspective. Maybe the most introspective, probably maybe him and Tupac, the most introspective hip hop artist ever. Dude was crying on stage, singing prayers on stage. Dude was emotionally connected to how flawed he was. The vulnerability of a rap artist to come out vulnerable. And I ain't talking about Drake vulnerable with like Drake out here trying to get dudes pregnant, okay? That's not the vulnerable I'm talking about. I'm talking about a dude that just bared his soul. It was one of those, it was Richard Pryor-esque. It really was. So the DMX Experience swooped you up in like 98. And then he had the bars. DMX had 5 #1 albums in a row. Debut, 5 #1 albums in a row. Nobody's doing that. Flesh My Flesh, Blood on My Blood. That's 2 albums. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. 2 #1 albums came out in a single year. 2. All them rings and things you sing about, bring them out. And nothing but heat. Heat on the albums, dude. And dude was just an incredible artist. And as things went on, DMX got older, the Rough Riders thing broke up, and then music changed. People started streaming and whatnot. It's like, I don't think that type of artist was there for, you know, the streaming. Like, it had to be something else. And at that point, DMX, it was nothing else. Rough Riders, that thing had gone, that thing had passed, and he kind of faded into the background. The one thing I thought that was really, really cool is that they did that versus. Snoop Dogg and DMX did the verses. I mean, obviously you don't know how things turned out now, but them doing that versus, first, it was like a reintroduction. Of course, New York dudes is always on this, right? Because New York dudes only care about other New York dudes, right? So New York dudes is always on this whole, you know, East Coast thing. So like DMX is always that guy, right? But it put him back into the forefront. And when he started ripping off those hits, and Snoop was ripping off hits too, don't get me wrong. But when DMX started peeling off them hits, dog, when DMX start that track, he said, "You think it's a game? You think it's a game?" Yo, that make me want to run like 4 miles right there, dude. DMX got his credit while he was still here, which often doesn't happen. So his passing is tremendously sad, you know? Seems like drugs were involved, things like that, but 50 years old, man. It's a tragedy. It's a real tragedy. And he was someone that gave something to this world. Like, he didn't just come here, do his thing, and bounce. You know? He actually gave something, man. So, shout out to DMX, man, and the fans of DMX and DMX's family and the whole 9. See if I can get this graphic about this thing out. Take that off. I don't know how to get this graphic off. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, that's how you get the graphic off. See? I'm learning. All right. So here we go. This is the show. This I actually want to talk about because this is a comedy show. So this is a weird, awkward transition. Sorry for you guys listening to the podcast later. This is gonna be clunky. What's up with Tiger Woods, man? Make it real, dude. I need to get a heart-to-heart with Eldrick. Eldrick, man, I don't know where you are, man, but the game is to be sold and not told. You obviously need some help. Tiger Woods was going 85 miles an hour in a 45 as a black man driving a car. Yo, man, you are taking all the risk. I mean, I know you out in California filming commercials, but yo, dog, slow down. I want to know this, dude. Tiger Woods is the worst celebrity driver of all times. Somebody has to take Tiger Woods' license. You know that point in time in your life when you look at your parents and you just realize like they're too old to drive? Tiger Woods was too old to drive at 30. Somebody need to take Tiger's keys and give him an Uber coupon or something, dog. Can we do like a GoFundMe for Tiger so Tiger can get a driver? Tiger can sign up. He's going to kill somebody. 80 miles an hour in a 45, dog. They asked him where he was. He said Florida, because of course. The last time he got found in a ditch when his wife gave him that work with that golf club, it's Florida. This dude has been scarred by Thanksgiving. This dude has been scarred by Thanksgiving Day, dog. Hey, Tiger Woods, for the rest of his life, every time he messes up, the driveway, Florida. Where you at? Florida. Hey, Tiger Woods got caught cheating on his wife, and all he remembers is his alibi. Florida. This dude is shell-shocked, man. He needs to get a driver, man. Honestly. Hit a tree full speed, dog. Full speed. And I said on the podcast before, yo, this dude has so many moving violations. It's beyond me how he still has a license. I'm be real, dude. Tiger Woods got to have about 20 points on his license. Let's be real. Like, Tiger Woods, he had the pill incident. By the way, they found an empty bottle of pills with the label ripped off in the car, allegedly. And by allegedly, it was in the police report, all right? Empty bottle of pills with the label ripped off. I don't know how y'all roll, but when I get my pills, the first thing I do is not rip the label off, you know? Usually, when you get the pill bottle with the label ripped off, it came one that way. That's a different pharmacist. That's the pharmacist by my house. You know what I mean? He kind of works pro bono, you know, sells real estate in the daytime, pharmacist at night, yoga instructor on the weekend. That's the kind of guy tossing out pill bottles with no label on the front, dog. So Tiger had one of those in the floorboard, and my man's going 85. It said it was consistent with somebody that may or may not have fallen asleep. Full disclaimer, I've gotten in a car accident. I've totaled a car, fallen asleep. Totaled a car, okay? I wasn't going 85 miles an hour, you know? Because when you tend to fall asleep, you let off the gas. You know what I mean? They did say might have swerved at the end. I don't know. I'm just here to see if I can start a grassroots movement to take Tiger Woods' driver's license. I'm going to be real. Because this dude is going to hurt somebody. Straight up. How many points is on that dude's license? I honestly want to know. Because he had the pills in the floor. He had this one, the pills in the floor. That got to be at least 3 points right there. You know what I mean? Then he had the golf club incident. Even if the accident happens in your driveway, I feel once the Esquire is involved, that's worth a couple points. You know what I mean? At least a field goal. So that's 3 more points right there. Then he had the on the highway when they took him out and they asked him, "Hey, where are you?" And he said, "Oh, California." You know what I mean? Because he had been shell-shocked. So then he couldn't do that, my man. He went to jail for that. Now he got an accident now, dude. That's like 4 traffic incidents in the course of a couple years. At least he got to go to defensive driving. And wouldn't that be a cool experience to walk in defensive driving? You know, and you sitting behind the Masters champion. This is how you do. What are you in for? Oh, never mind. Florida. I know exactly what you're doing here. I saw them pills on the dashboard. I know a guy, by the way, Tiger. In case you want to get hooked up on the weekends. I got a guy in Vegas. Man, it's going from bad to worse. I don't know what's going to happen with the whole Tiger Woods thing, man. But this is going to be a crazy movie. Watch the Tiger Woods documentary on HBO. Good documentary, by the way. You guys that are new to the streaming thing, y'all know all I do is watch documentaries on Netflix. Netflix, by the way, makes documentaries to scare black people. You know what I mean? Every time you watch a Netflix documentary, there's always a thin line of fear that they put in there, just to scare black people. That's why they're there, okay? I watched a documentary on Cubers yesterday. It was people that just solve Rubik's Cubes for fun. And I say for fun because I never saw any money exchange. You know what I mean? It's like if you do the Rubik's Cube and you're never going to be successful doing that. You're doggone right. I watched these dudes solve the Rubik's Cube for 45 minutes and they were staying in the Best Western. You know what I mean? So you want to, hey, mate, just get that associate's degree just in case you need it, Todd. You might need that associate's degree. But I don't know what's going to happen with Tiger. The Tiger Woods documentary is good. They go through the whole incidents, the Thanksgiving Day, everything. There's people in the doc that know Tiger personally. Used to be family friends. Because everybody in the documentary used to be friends. It's because those that know don't tell. Those that tell don't know, right? So everybody used to be family friends. And it does seem like ever since that thing happened with the whole Thanksgiving Day thing, it's been kind of downhill. But he won the Masters, you know what I mean? And now he has 2 broken legs and hit a tree. Tiger's a wild boy. Thank you for tuning into the Last Show podcast. It's called The Last Show because this may be it. All right. And we're going to edit and we're going to do at the same time. Oh, man, I missed the thing. All right, we got to go back and put that. That's what I did. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying with The Last Show podcast. We're going to get into it. That is DMX playing in the background, slipping, falling, can't get up. Dude was straight up revealing, man. I don't know. I mean, because most of the guys, even that does a record like this, is some kind of, record like slipping. I guess Murder was the case, kind of like this with Snoop Dogg's kind of one of revealing records. Baltimore Love Thing, I guess that's a 50 Cent record, kind of sort of like this. The Evils, Jay-Z. These are just records, but like nothing compares to like Slippin'. Slippin' is just, DMX is in his bag, dude. In his bag, giving you the full display, man. DMX Slippin'. All right. The Matt Gaetz situation keeps unfolding. Am I unfolding? This camera is really throwing me off, dog. I'm going to be honest, man. I feel like this can and will be used against me in a court of law. I feel like I'm performing in front of a body cam. Like, this is not the way I want to start my career or end my career, because this is definitely going to be the end. This is the end of something. I don't know how long this camera thing is going. All right, but Matt Gaetz, man. So last week I told you on the podcast, I thought it was a bad idea. Matt Gaetz was paying women through the Cash App. By the way, on the screen I added my link. There's the Venmo and the Cash App. Holla at your boy. Little did I know, this dude's using Venmo too. This dude is using the Cash App. He's using Venmo, and he's using Apple Pay. Venmo. Not only that, this dude Venmo'd somebody, not according to reports. He Venmo'd the dude $900, and the next day, that dude Venmo'd some underage girls $900. On top of that, in his Venmo transaction, he made a mistake and sent that guy $200, and he goes, "Oh man, my bad. I didn't mean to pay you that $200. Can you get that back to me? It was for my fantasy football league." This dude admitted in writing to being in a gambling fantasy football league. Yo, man, now you're racketeering. Not only allegedly are you trafficking and trafficking women, underage girls, taking them across state line, paying through Apple Pay, Venmo, and the Cash App. Now you are racketeering. Yo, you paying taxes on that money? So I mean, dude, I'm not trying to get you jammed up. And that's why when he went on the Tucker Carlson show, that's why Tucker Carlson turned his back on him. I mean, Tucker Carlson's never seen racism. He wanted to pass up, dog. Tucker Carlson's like, "Yo, man, Matt, you too hot for TV, dog." hey, Tucker, we're in the fantasy football league. Whoa, what? No, I don't know. I play for fun. I fantasy. I buy one square during Final Four. That's all I do, man. That's just, No. I don't do any of that, Matt. Let's get back to the questions, huh? How about you stop vamping and stop trying to get me involved, dog? This is the Matt Gaetz, man. He got that weird thing going on with Matt Gaetz, dude. Craziness. All right. So I want to talk about George Floyd too. All right. So the George Floyd trial is going on. Today is Friday. It is 8:49 East Coast time, the 9th. As of right now, I didn't watch what happened with the case today, but as of right now, somebody sent me something. As of right now, they had doctors on trial. The prosecution's still going. Doctors on trial. But another thing that happened on this week is that the police chief testified against Derek Chauvin. So he testified for the prosecution. So not only that, they had a former LAPD something come in as a witness to like how he was administering the restraint of the chokehold, all that, right? Then they had somebody else in the police department or in the legal department, and then of course they had the dispatchers and things of that nature. And they're setting it up as basically, yo, this dude violated all our rules. This ain't the way we get down, dude. This dude was off the hook with his joint, right? It's the way we get down. And I'm like, this is improvement. The idea that the police chief would testify against the police, like breaking the blue wall of silence, like that really only happens when like somebody gets, tangled up in some kind of drug trafficking. There's a big case actually in New York City a long time ago where like the police officers were selling drugs. They were shaking down drug dealers, They was on some training day stuff, American gangster type stuff is what they were on, man. So usually that's what it takes for somebody to break the blue wall of silence. But they're doing it for Derek Chauvin, which is something that I guess is to be commended. At the same time, ain't that the bare minimum? Ain't that what you supposed to do? What do you want, a cookie? Ain't you supposed to do? I take care of my kids. That's what you supposed to do. It's like, the masters came out with a statement. The masters said they believe everybody has the right to vote. Brilliant. See, Kortney, they're not racist. That's the bare minimum. The bare minimum. I'm not comfortable with this at this point. The other thing, weirdly, that makes me uncomfortable is if you set Derek Chauvin up as the rogue person, it makes it seem like, hey, he's the problem. It's kind of like when people only want to admit that there's some kind of racism once you see the racism. Oh, what? He said the N-word? Whoa. That's racist. Oh, we got him. Oh, good thing we got rid of that racism. Now we can go back to our other lives because, hey, we found the racist. It was just one guy. We found him. It was like when Tim Donahue was betting on NBA games. Whoa. It was only one guy. We found him. That's it. Only one referee bets in the NBA. I'm sure they've found the problem. All right? Derek Chauvin now is a scapegoat for the man. What a twist. Derek Chauvin is a way to keep the status quo now. Because if the whole thing is Derek Chauvin administered everything wrong, Derek Chauvin was incorrect and choking him out and he killed a man. That's the guy we need to fight. What about the whole system, dog? About the whole system. Oh, no. It can't stop here. Once we get this done, we got to keep going. And it's one of those things now, especially when I see the reports and I see the trials, it's definitely setting up to, number one, dude's guilty. Whether he gets convicted or not, that's another topic, right? But dude's guilty, number one. And not only is he guilty, he's unemployable. So I don't even know what's worse, going to jail or being unemployable. I'd say unemployable. Because if you're unemployable, you can always do crime. You go to jail, you're in jail. That's pretty much, that's what buck stops right there. But I'm not comfortable with any of that. All right, I'm going to do this couple things and we're going to bounce up out of the podcast. This video camera really shook up the way I did the show. I didn't like it today. Last time I liked it. We got to be more casual with the whole thing. And by we, I mean me. Didn't like the way it went down. This dude got a dude on Fox News some dude Godfrey. I just wrote his name down on a sheet of paper, and it just said Godfrey comedy show on Fox News. Dude got like a comedy show where it's basically like the Daily Show, but a Fox News version of it. So it's very stiff and not funny. You know what I mean? It's unintentionally funny. You know what I mean? Like Tucker Carlson when he had Matt Gaetz on. That was hilarious. Okay? When a dude is trying to get you engulfed in sex trafficking. I find that funny. But the Godfrey Show is just terrible. It's terrible. Like, they actually did have one like funny bit on it that I've seen, but he is stiff and starched. The weird thing is, it's actually a conservative comedy show, like The Daily Show or Colbert. But The Daily Show's been going on for decades. Decades. They've had like, what, 4 different hosts now? Decades. Shouldn't Fox News have done this show a long time ago? They literally didn't have to do anything but do Colbert's show. Colbert did the show they're trying to do right now. Colbert did the show so long ago, he don't even do the show anymore. Like, Colbert gave up the character and started doing himself. and they still, hey, you know what we need? A comedy show that's conservative. Oh, let's find somebody that's not funny. That guy. Put him on there. We got some sketches. It's terrible execution of the show. And I assume he's supposed to be funny. Not very funny. But he's that weird, conservative, sarcastic funny. Like, you ever go to somebody's house that's like, they're clearly racist, and they tell like weird, like racist jokes, and they say, hey, yeah, that's why she's Chinese. Bad driver, huh? Huh? It's like, yo, dogs, stop hitting me in the gut, man. That's not funny. You know, the only reason I'm laughing is because you're holding that gun in your right hand. That's a funny one. That's the kind of show this dude's at. It's terrible. Also, you know what I found out this week? You can do background checks on Tinder now. All you people out there dating in these streets, man, you can see if the person's a creep before you actually meet them in real life. Background check. Hopefully those background checks include additional profile pics. That'd be nice. You know what I mean? Those angle shots to get you every time. Am I right, my guy? Those angle shots, man. You catch anybody in the right angle, they'll look good. I mean, I'm convinced. Everybody in this life has an angle to where you look incredible. You're the Halle Berry. Move over. Precious is coming through. Everybody has an angle in this world that makes you look incredible. And people on Tinder, I assume, use all those angles. I don't have, any. I don't have any experience with Tinder. You know what I mean? My game surpassed Tinder. I didn't need to. Tinder needed me. That's what Tinder sent me coupons like they wanted me to sign up for DoorDash. That's what Tinder. Tinder still's on my jock right now, dog. Hey, we'll give you free matches. You know? Hey, dog, relax, Tinder. I got it from here. I'm good. Background checks on Tinder so you can find out if the person's out of their mind before you meet them in real life. It did have me thinking, it's not good. I blame this on Joe Biden, by the way. Tinder doing background checks. I blame this on Joe Biden, dog. Man, America has slipped back into its old ways. It's too safe. We don't need that level of safety, man. That's too safe, okay? These snowflakes. What do you conservative people call them? It's liberals. These liberals are taking over. Now you can do background checks to find out if the person's crazy. That's half the fun. Half the fun of dating a stranger is not knowing, that they were a murderer for half the summer. You know what I mean? You figure out sometime around July, now you got to break it off by September. Hey, I'm moving. This is not working out for me. I got to relocate. Where? Guam. Somewhere where there's no internet connection. It's okay. I was thinking about moving to Guam anyway. I'm sure you are. You probably need to hide a body. We got to break this thing off. That's half the fun, man. That's the best part of dating. Not knowing who's on the other end of that table. You show up to the date and you got a list of rule breakers. You go down the list and you judge the person to them face. Well, what happened to the old school way? I'm old school. I used to like it. You see somebody fidgeting at the table, you don't know what they're grabbing down there. They might have a button on the underside of your desk, like your man from the Today Show. What was your man's name? He had the button to lock women in the room. Me too. let's wrap up the show. All right, thank you for tuning into the Last Show podcast. You guys that came on live, thank you. Also, you can check me out on YouTube. Check me out on my Facebook. Check me out on everywhere. Subscribe to the show. The podcast is the important thing. This is important too. But on the show, subscribe on Stitcher, Google, TuneIn Radio, Spotify. I'm recording my new comedy album August 27th, 28th in Seattle. You can do that. In the meantime, YouTube, there's plenty of stuff out there, man. You don't need to background check me. I've put it all out on Front Street, man. Y'all know what I do. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Good next week. Talk to you sometime next week. We'll see. All right. Take it easy.